like 2.5 million purchase, $500,000 down. 2.8 million purchase, $560,000 down. Hey, Amir.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah, hey, Amir. My name is Henry. I was calling you about the building that you have on. How you doing?
Okay.
Great. I was calling you because my partner and I are going through a 1031 exchange, and I was just curious if you'd be totally against selling the property here. It's a shopping center.
Because we have two.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would look at either one of them. I mean, we're trying to move, quite a few million bucks, so I'm sure we can try to come to some type of agreement on price.
I mean, I'd sell anything for at the right price. But just to keep in mind, we bought them when the rates were a lot lower.
Oh, that makes sense.
So, yeah, but so our price point is going to be, I'm a very straightforward guy. Our price point may not be to your, you may not want it at that price.
Okay, well, look, I mean, I can at least do my best.
We paid about $24.5 million for these two buildings. That's a matter of public record.
24.5 million?
Yep.
Okay, and that you said that was for both buildings?
How big is your 1031?
10 million bucks.
10 million, okay.
So I mean, and plus obviously we have extra money, and we could, obviously we'll get a loan. So like, I think there's some way that we can maybe make something work. Okay, so just to be clear, you said this one was 55 units?
No, this one is 33 units.
Okay, sorry.
33 or 34 units, but it's a 55 plus community.
Got it. 55 plus community. Did you build this, or you bought it the way it is?
No, we bought it. We bought it almost brand new. Few months of it being sealed.
Very nice. No, yeah, it's a beautiful building here. Okay. I mean, do you have a price range in which you feel like you'd need to be at on this one?
Not right now. I'll have to check with my partner who manages this property.
Sure.
To see what we actually paid for it, because I remember the overall number for the two, but I don't remember what the breakup was.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I have a partner that, obviously I'm doing this with here on this 1031. Probably, I mean, we'd be more interested in the 3996 deal. But we would take a look at both of them. I just know, like, I'd have a separate partner I'd have to bring in for the adult community, who I know that would be a much better operator than us. But I mean, do you have an idea of where you think you need to be for the shopping center mixed use deal here?
The shopping center.
I'm saying the one at 3996. I can see that it looks mixed. It's mixed use, right?
It's got to be at least 15 million.
How much you said?
At least 15 million.
15? 1.5?
I mean, it's fully 15. Yeah, I mean, it's fully occupied. Never had a problem renting it out. I mean,
yeah. Do you know the square footage of this?
No.
Okay, I can pull up some information. I would love to. Is this your cell phone by any chance, Amir?
Yeah, this is my cell phone.
Okay, great. What I can do is that if you want, I'll shoot you a text with my information, and if you give me your email, I can also send you a quick email.
Yeah, do that. I will. Is this your cell phone as well?
This is my cell. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna text you my email address, so that way we can communicate on the email. And on your first email, I'll respond and connect you to my partner also, who manages these properties on a day-to-day basis.
Cool.
So that way the information flow would be a little bit.
Okay, sounds good. All right, yeah, sounds like a plan. I'll do a little bit more research in the meantime, and I'll send you. Text me over the email. I'll send you the email within the next hour or so.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks, Amir. Have a great day.
I'll send you my email.
Yep.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks. That's fine. Hello.
Yeah, hey, Steven?
Hello. Who's calling?
Yeah, Steven, my name is Henry. I was calling you about the property of. How are you?
What are you calling about?
I'm going through a 1031 exchange with a partner of mine, and I was just calling around a couple of key properties.
Not interested in anything.
Not interested. Okay. I mean, are you open to the idea of possibly buying another shopping center in the area? And he hung up. I mean, this is a big shopping center. Class A location. Very nice. Probably gets these calls a lot. Hello, Ed?
Hello.
Yeah, hey, Ed. My name is Henry. I was calling you about the properties you have on. How you doing?
Okay.
Great. I was
Is this in reference from the phone call from the young lady the other day?
I have no idea who a young lady is.
Okay, somebody called me and they said that they would have somebody call me back and not those properties.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm not aware of who that is, but I'm calling you because I run a small investment company in the area, and I'm going through a 1031 exchange and need to move some money around for tax purposes. And I was curious if you'd be open to selling the property here on.
Which properties are we looking at?
188, 190?
188, 190?
Yeah, I mean, if you have bigger, I'd prefer it, but if if this is the biggest one you have.
That's the biggest one I have. I have other properties, but that's the biggest.
Okay, yeah, I mean, is this the one you'd be most interested in selling, or did you have anything else you know?
Yes.
Okay.
I have others that I have two buildings on Martin Luther King Drive.
Okay.
I have 188 I also have 174 and 180, but I wasn't looking to sell those right away. But 188, 190, I was selling.
Okay. Do you have a price in mind for this?
I'm asking 3.3. If you got a second, I was just comparing it to a building that sold in 23, and they sold at a 7.23 cap.
Okay. What's the address of that one?
I'm looking to see the address. They sold it for 1.43, but it didn't gross much for some reason. Trying to look what their sell is, because that's kind of what I base my price. But I can tell you, 23, that building bought me in net $253,000.
Well, what's the gross income on it?
Sorry.
What's the gross income on it? You said you netted 250.
In 2023, it was approximately 250. It varies year to year.
What about last year?
It's 20. I'm just putting the paperwork together for last week. Believe it or not, I got it. I just came and looked at it last week.
Okay, well, tell me a little bit more about the building. I mean, like, obviously, I can tell it's got the supermarket downstairs.
It's got 28 rooms on the second and third floor. It has 6 bathrooms. My rents vary from $795 to $895. Crap. Hold on one second.
You're good.
Okay, I'm going to give you my. This is my list in 2023. That's not good. You want 2024 something.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is because obviously things could be a little different. I'm sure they could even be better. You know, they could be worse. They could be better. Who knows?
I don't know the taxes off the top of my head.
That's what I can see the taxes. You're good.
My insurance for 2025 is now $31,800, I believe.
Okay, your taxes, by the way, were about 22,000. By the way, your taxes last year 22,000.
Okay, and so it didn't go up much at all. But my insurance went from 21 to like 34, and now I paid 30. I think it was 31.8. My water bill was 5,151. I just told the fellow last year they're giving me it's not an accurate reading because they're trying to get a water meter in last August. They still don't have it, so they're just giving me estimated bills. What's
the supermarket pay downstairs?
The supermarket is paying me $2,444. I haven't raised his rent in 3 years.
Nice, good for him.
Mikasa, the center store, he's not paying enough. He's paying $2,000 a month, and he doesn't pay for any of his utilities.
He is getting a deal of a lifetime.
He's getting a hell of a deal.
Yes, he is. Okay.
Now, next door, I had a 696 was paying me $950. She moved out. She's buying 2 of my buildings. That she was renting one. Now she wants to buy the 2 of them. So she moved out of that. She used that as a food pantry. I was getting $950.
Got it. Now that's vacant, you're saying?
Right now it's vacant. The guy that's giving me $2,000 was trying to rent it for only $500. I refused. What happened was he was renting a space for me for his truck for only $100 a month, and he had to move it. And his thing is he's now paying over $400, so he wants to deduct that from the $950.
That's crazy.
And he's saying, "Well, I'm paying $400 now for this, so take it off the rent." I'm not doing that.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, look, I mean, based on what you're saying, so you got the 2,444 for the supermarket, the 2,000 for the next space. You got the 795 to 895 for all the rooms there. I'm guessing you're pretty close to 100% occupancy most times, like 90 to 100%.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now the rooms in 23, they bought me in $23,010 a month. It's a little bit higher than that right now.
Yep.
The reason is we have tenants with years, and we haven't raised their rents in years, since before COVID. I
got you. I'm getting a gross income of like around 300,000 or so, 300 and change.
I got 340,848 in 23. So it's a little bit higher, probably.
Got it. Okay. So let's just say you're saying like 350 probably?
And between 340 and 350.
Okay. That's fair. So, I mean, look, the bank, any bank, so whether I buy it or anybody else buys it, the banks are going to look at this with a vacancy rate no matter what. Like, even if you're at 100% occupancy, they're going to add a vacancy rate. Even, like they're going to add management fees no matter what. They're going to add, maintenance budgets no matter what you spent last year, right? So, all of that, you're probably going to be looking at like a net operating income as per a bank of closer to probably 200,000. Okay. you're going to be able to get a loan on the 200 roughly for, let's just say, about for 150 grand or so. It means worth of debt, like debt that you can put on the building. At $150,000 worth of debt, they're only going to look at the value of your building of roughly total value of the building of around $2 million. I mean, is that even something you'd consider?
That's not the truth. To sell it for $2 million, no way.
Okay, so we're I mean, like,
I can't even think of it.
Well, the reason why I'm saying that is only because, like, look, I mean,
Well, I understand you're saying 100%. You're looking at what the banks are evaluating.
well, I mean, just because think about it, like you're only going to be able to get a loan on this for probably $1.5 million, and if you're asking 3 and change million, you're going to have to put about 50% down, which is a lot. Especially because like the returns will be not as high. So like, the cash on cash returns would be low. I don't even know if you'd buy it that way, So
I know it's much more than that.
I'm not saying I agree with you. I agree with you. Look, like, do you think?
I understand the system too. That's the banks are looking to optimum in their favor.
Well, I mean, obviously they're going to make sure that they don't lose money. So I'm curious. I mean, like, would you be? Do you have any debt on the building, by the way, or you have no mortgage?
I have no debt. Roof somewhere between 5 and 10 years. Furnace maybe 5 years. It's in very good shape.
That's great. Okay, you said roof is like 5 years. You said
5 to 10. I honestly don't remember.
All right, that's fine. Well, look, would you be open to seller financing and like taking payments over time with the right terms?
No, I'm 71. My brother's 73. Because if I sell it to you and you lose my rooming house license and I get it back, how good is it to me?
Yeah, I mean, look, the only reason why I'm even bringing that up is more so of saying like, obviously you can make a contingent that you don't lose the license. Like you have to keep the license and, there'd be X fine or something like that if you lose it, blah, blah, blah. Right. Like,
if you lose it, no matter what, I now have a building that has to be converted off from a rooming house to either a condo or apartments.
Yeah.
And, it's, as far as rooming house, that's where your money is.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a way to make money for sure. I mean, like, look, obviously, I don't think you'd do poorly if you did apartments. I don't think you'd do poorly if you did condos.
Oh, I wouldn't, but at my age, I don't want to start that.
No, for sure. That makes sense.
Floor.
Well, look, I mean, like, do you think...
I can tell you what my maintenance is on that, my true maintenance. I pay a girl, she can stay there rent-free. The apartment's worth $850, so she doesn't pay me that. I give her $300 a month. She maintains the entire building, collects my rent. She pays for me. She does small odds and ends.
That's great.
If she lots of times she'll do stuff and she doesn't even want money, so I give her extra money anyway.
That's great.
So,
no, you got a great person there. I mean, what do you think? Like, look, the only reason why I was saying seller financing is because suggesting that, which obviously I understand, the getting up in age and everything. But even if you did it for maybe 2 years to reposition the asset, make sure you max out the rents for the retail spaces, maybe up the rents a little bit on the people in the units, to give it a little bit of time to increase the rent so that you can get a better, someone like myself can get a better mortgage on it, right, in a 2-year period. I mean, like, I'm not saying for 10 years by any means. I'm saying, like, would you be open to maybe doing something with seller financing for 2 years?
I'd have to talk to my brothers and what kind of money are you putting down on it?
Well, typically we do like 20%. Like that's a very typical amount. So like, let's just say again, as an example, 2.5 million per, I'm just throwing numbers out there, but like 2.5 million purchase, $500,000 down, 2.8 million purchase, $560,000 down.
I don't know if I want to do it. I don't think my brothers will agree to it.
Well, do you feel like,
we just don't want to give it to somebody inside of a year that they could lose the license, they could let the place go to hell. I'm only saying this because I have friends that did this and they got screwed royally.
I hear you. Look, you have to be careful, but also keep in mind, like you're going to get $500,000 to $600,000 as that you just get, right? So
right, and then Uncle Sam takes a third of it, and then I split it up with 2 brothers. It ain't that much money. I mean, it's a lot of money. When you look at it on paper, but you look at it in reality, what's coming in my pocket.
Yeah. No, I can respect that. I mean, look, if I got you an offer, today for like, or maybe this week, I gotta talk to my partners for like $2.5 million. Do you even think you'd be open to the idea?
I already have somebody at 2.5, and he's begging me to give it to for 2.5. I told him we would give it for 2.8 as is, and he says he doesn't want to go that high.
All right. Well, let me.
Like I said,
if I got to 2.6.
No, I'm looking for 2.8.
2.8. All right. Well, look,
As is.
look, I hear you loud and clear. Let me talk to my partners. Let me see what the best price I can do is, and I'll try to get you a net to you of 2.8 million. Let's see if I can do something like that. Is that fair enough?
And that would be as is.
And that would be as is. Now, look, the only thing I always like to say is obviously we can still do inspections. And if there's any structural or environmental issues, like we would obviously have to address that clearly.
Right. Well, how do you address that? I would want to know ahead of time if there's an oil under the ground.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, as in, I would be doing an
You
inspection.
inspect the tape.
Yeah, like I would do an inspection. Yeah, like because like just to be clear, when someone says as is, basically, and I've been doing this a long time. I'm also a broker, sell a couple, dozens of properties like this every year. I just want to be clear. When you say as is, it basically just means that you don't want to be nickeled and dimed for BS stuff, right? It doesn't mean I can't do inspections. And obviously, if there's anything that comes back from the inspections, I'll let you know about it. Is that fair?
You could do the inspection, but yeah.
It's like, look, because if hypothetically there's oil in the ground, like I'm not going to buy the deal, right? Obviously.
Right. But there could be oil in the ground. It could be a 20,000 cleanup. It could be $100,000.
I agree with you. And I'm saying, like, look, I'm saying we would have to address it one way or another, right? Like, because that's why I'm saying the word as is thrown around all the time. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just like to be very clear. I will, look, why don't I do this? Is this your cell phone by any chance, Ed?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to shoot you a text with my information. If you don't mind, just to make it a little bit easier on me, let me grab your email. Give me 1 second. I'm just grabbing a pen here. Give me 1 second. What's your email? Nice and easy. All right. Let me talk to my partner, and then I'll get back to you within the probably within a week or so. Is that fair?
Good enough.
All right. Awesome. Ed, I appreciate it. My name's Henry again. I'll shoot you a text with my info now, and then we'll touch base shortly.